And welcome back to Wintertime Flowers. How you doing today? Hope you're doing well. The last time we were together, we had to get together with some pals and do a little bit of cheering up. Our girl Rika has just been feeling all sorts of out of it lately, and we basically spent the entirety of the last episode doing everything we could to make her feel better. And then there was even a nice little birthday party at the end. Like, that was just like, I don't know, the happiest episode of Flowers we've had in a while. Just, you know, a lot of good feels all around. Did some good, but Suoh's still out here treading water on her own through this whole mystery thing and trying to figure out what's going on with Mayuri. And we're also getting weird narration between chapters, it seems, that we're not entirely sure of. So there's still a lot of intrigue going on here. Not a whole lot of movement on the main mystery in a while, and we're in chapter 4. We just started chapter 4. It's the beginning of February, and crisp morning light filters into the classroom. Its diffused warmth distracts me from the homeroom, and my eyelids feel pleasantly heavy. Reading week, do we get a free personal pan pizza by the end if we read 5 books? Sister Basquiat's voice is a faraway whisper, lulling me towards sleep. As soon as January turned to February, a cold spell hit. The already bitter winter took a nosedive into freezing. During the short walk from the dormitories to the main school building, the stinging cold pierces through our clothing like 1,000 needles. A chill rolls up from the earth, leaching onto the soles of our feet to permeate our entire bodies. After saying our prayers in the freezing chapel, we hurry to the classroom and its blessed heating, barely exchanging a word on the way. Even after we'd arrived in the classroom and divested ourselves of our barrettes, capes, and gloves, the chill sits deep in our bones until the warmth of the heated air finally wraps itself around us like a comforting blanket. I had a similar, like, high school thing where there was, like, a main school building, but then there was, like, another building that had, like, special, like, vocational classes that were more, like, specialized. And winter months sucked to have a class in that building because you had to walk, like, God, I don't want to say it was an excruciatingly long walk, but it was long enough to where if you were outside in the cold long enough, you would definitely be hating it by the time you got into the building. And that building's heat was very, very dodgy, and sometimes it just didn't work, and they never canceled school, despite the fact that, like, if the main school's heating ended up pooping out, they'd have to cancel school. But, like, if that that vocational building class, like classes, if those heaters weren't working, like, nobody gave a shit, like, for some reason. So I don't know if there was maybe, like, some kind of, like, this is not really part of the school, or there's just, I don't know. It was weird. The stinging cold of the walk here should have blown the cobwebs away, but now the sunlight bathing my body and the warmth of the heated classroom nestling me, I'm finding it hard to stay. That is also another big issue that I faced when having morning classes in that vocational school, because you'd get there and they'd, like, when the heat did work, you would just want to go to sleep. But I have to pay attention to what Sister Basquiat's saying. Right. I put it off while I was busy preparing for the Council of Nikaya's events, but yeah, we've made not a lot of progress on this in a while. I can start closing in on my amitié again. Thoughts of Mayuri crowd my hazy mind, and I smile to myself. Definitely the look of somebody who was lost in thought and not expecting to get called on. Yep, that's exactly the look. And this is a very self-satisfied look of somebody who knows that she's caught somebody off in La La Land and wants to put them on the spot. Listen closely to what? I stand up from my seat, the silly smile still pasted on my face with no clue as to what we've just been talking about. You were totally grinning to yourself, she teases me. Nuh-uh, no it wasn't, you were. I retort back to my bookworm buddy who's taken up shop in front of my desk. It was a pretty dopey look. She's not wrong. Yeah, you look dopey as hell. I think telling somebody they look dopey is just like, that's a pretty good insult. Just like calling somebody a goofy. Like, man, shut up, you're just goofy. Like when you, like, it's the real simple insults I think that stick these days, like weird. No, you're weird. No, you're dopey. Get out of here, bozo. I think, yeah, bozo is very funny. That's a very funny one to call somebody. Takasaki-san nods earnestly and I feel my face flush. Looking vindicated, Erika-san turns to the others to seek their agreement too. This. No, I wasn't thinking about my girlfriend. Shut up. You were thinking about your girlfriend. At the time, I was thinking that I was finally free to start solving the mysteries that would lead me back to Mayuri. But I can hardly tell them that. Dang, can't believe it. I can't believe you're just treating your best friends, the Sasaki sisters, like this. How terrible of you. Wow, look at this. Poor Ichigo is just about to be shattered across this wooden floor. Observant? What? Why would you say that? I wasn't thinking about a night in the library or anything like that. What are you talking about? Since I can't tell the truth, I find myself fumbling around for what to say. Erika-san is staring at me with a look that plainly reads, "Are you for real?" I don't really have good memories of love letters, actually. No, we know those are real bad for her. The phrase love letter sparks a memory. I answer without really thinking. Oh, it's okay. I will forgive you for literally anything, Ringo. It's okay. Reminded of their prank from back in the spring, the twins looked down, their shoulders drooping. Yeah, we went a long way to get there, and again, you know, this is another thing that's kind of pointing out that it's all about communication. Like, the Sasakis wanted to be friends, but they didn't really know how to say it, so they kind of, like, tried to work it into, like, what they were doing with the letter, and it just, yeah. Again, it's all... I feel like we're seeing that a lot, especially in the last two games where, like, well, maybe it's... Nah, it's really just like an overarching thing for the whole series, and communication is a big thing. And these are silly teenagers trying to figure their way out, you know, through the complicated maze that is being social. I hurry to reassure them, and am relieved when they smile. I mean, beyond the Sasaki thing, there was a real crappy thing that happened too. When I was younger, there was a boy who pulled a prank on me. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm surprised she's not already given, like, even in an all-girls school, I'm surprised she's just that her locker's not just stuffed full. Erika-san smirks, but I know she's being genuine. Yeah. Oh, look at that! Firing it right back. What?
だって小さい頃のことだけれど、男の子ってエリカさんみたいに自分の意見を
Yeah, like a girl that's just like upfront and honest, even if she hates my guts. Realizing that Erika-san is now a red as a tomato, I abruptly break off. I glance at the twins while Takasaki-san folds her arms, staring intently at Erika-san's grimacing red face as though she can read something there.
そう、エリカ、ラブレターをもらったことがあるの。
Let's hear it, Erika. What you got? Oh!
いつ？誰からよ？
Oh shit! Oh no! She is in full Terminator mode again! Who was it? Who was the bitch? She's dead! She's dead! Dunzo! Terminated.
No comment だ。
No comment! I think Erika literally just saved somebody's life. Erika-san remains tight-lipped even as Takasaki-san bears down on her. As they continue talking amongst themselves, I slide my gaze over to where Erika-san is chatting with Tsuwabuki-san. The flow of people in her seat never ceases, and she listens to all their troubles without a hint of complaint. Suddenly, I'm struck with the urge to open up to my amitié partner about Mayuri. The feeling swells up from my chest and lodges in my throat like tears, but...
私のわがままに巻き込むわけにいかないわ。
Have you not learned by this point that yes, you can involve her in your personal struggles because that's what friends are for? Narrowing my eyes against the cool, dazzling rays of sunlight falling across her back, I start to go over what I'm going to do in my head. A real loser is someone who's so afraid of not winning, he doesn't even try. I remembered this quote from a very obscure thing. Yeah. All right. I think of a line from the movie Little Miss Sunshine. Because
標本学の教諭、烏森みどりを詳しく知る者は少なく。
yeah, we really don't. But again, I just don't think she's going to get very far on her own because I feel like everybody has a point of view or a skill or a way of looking at things or just a way of thinking about the evidence that is unique and that could help point you in a direction that's the truth. And I just don't feel, I feel like approaching this from one very, I guess flawed at this point of view, if we're going on the idea that Xian Basquiat is not Dahlia's dad, I just don't buy that. I think that she's not going to be able to reach that conclusion on her own because she's so focused on it. The Bloody Mary incident was deemed to be the reason a lot of third-year students all quit at once, and Miss Karasumori's name came up in the process of pursuing it. Yatsushiro-senpai blocked her plan to use the incident to her own advantage and censured her for it. Then Miss Karasumori left the academy.
彼女が起こした何か、事件のようなもの、変わった癖、人となりとか、少しは聞けるかと思ったけれど。
But I found out nothing more than when I asked around the last time. It seemed that Miss Karasumori was a woman of few words who rarely spoke about her personal life. Since she wasn't the type to play favorites with her students, there were no girls who were particularly close to her, and among the staff, Ishizuka and Basquiat are our only two leads here, and they're not gonna give us much more, I don't think. They're the two people closest to the reticent Ms. Karasumori. I've already spoken to Miss Ishizuka and Sister Basquiat.
責めるように話を聞いてしまったし。
Yeah, like I think you already kind of blew that. Like you can't really... I don't know how you backtrack on that. She won't tell me anything. She probably thinks she said all there was to say on that night in the textiles room.
いつ分かったのは、辞めたのを一身上の都合ということで通したこと。そして、成果へと戻ったということ。
It seems to me that Yatsushiro-senpai arrived at the name Tulpa of Agape via the fallout of the incident caused by Miss Karusumori. She arrived at the name Tulpa of Agape through her somehow. My brain's not putting that together. I even voiced that hunch to her. Again, the line comes back to me. A real loser is someone who's so afraid of not winning he doesn't even try. All I can do is take comfort in the fact that I'm trying. If I keep pushing my way forward and never giving up, I'll eventually find what I'm looking for. I decided to shift the focus of my investigation from Miss Karusumori to Shion Akitsu and begin there, or Shiori Akitsu and begin anew. We're gonna go that route. It's no use! It's no use! Leaning back from the pages that I've been staring at, I pressed my fingers to my temples and let out a deep sigh. Yeah, that tracks. I tried looking back at the records kept by successive presidents of the Council of Nikaya, since I knew Yatsushiro-senpai had looked through them too, but just at such a dead end on this. And like all of the leads that we have are adults that are just never going to take a kid asking these questions seriously, because adults are poopy and don't ever, like, they're never honest with children. When I combed through the almanacs before, I was looking for anything to do with Tulpa of Agape or Shion Basquiat. This time I had my eyes peeled for two names, but I haven't encountered them anywhere. There's nothing at all written about Shiori Akitsu. I suppose there wouldn't be. After all, it would have fallen to Yatsushiro-senpai, her amitié partner, to write it. As I'm gloomily turning to the next page, I hear the door opening. Hey, how's it going? My amitié partner smiles at me, a bunch of documents in her hand. Nandemonai! After the meeting disbanded, I wasn't expecting anyone else to return to Iznik, so I'd come up with an excuse on the spot. Rika-san doesn't probe my lie further. She goes to file her papers away in a binder. Rising from my seat at the desk, I join her, telling her that I'll help. She glances over at the stack of almanacs on my desk. I think I detect a trace of suspicion beneath her quiet words, and I steal a look to try and gauge her expression. Suoh, baby doll, you've gotta kind of let her in, I think. This is not gonna get better because it's just gonna build up again, and you're gonna be back to square one with where we were, like, and then you're gonna have to, like, Higurashi your way through that same chapter again and do the birthday party and do like the St. Joseph performance again. You're gonna have to do all that again to smooth this over. Her eyes remind me of ominous thunderclouds rolling in from afar, hiding something I can't comprehend. Like, I think she just already know, like, the feeling that I am getting here is I think everybody knows that Mayuri is on her mind 24/7, and that whatever she's preoccupied with probably has something to do with it. I feel like everybody knows it and is just not saying. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting, because everybody's just like, look, dog, are you okay? Can I, like, help you with anything? Everybody's just kind of like approaching her in a way that just kind of says, we all know! Just say something to us, please! But they've all agreed to, like, not push it. Like, it feels like her needing help is like a realization she's going to have to come to on her own, and like maybe they're just kind of like letting her kind of like not really take a fall here, but they're kind of like gently letting her kind of like maybe get to the dead end, to the point to where like she needs to kind of just like open up and be like, look, we need to collaborate here. We need to put all of our heads together and make this work. Something in her gaze gives me a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach.
それじゃ、またね。
Yeah, like all of these interactions, they're just starting to feel like everybody knows, and they're just kind of like not losing patience with her, but they're just kind of like, ugh. It's not grating as a reader or anything. It's more just like, damn girl, you got people here in your corner that are more than willing to help. With that, she takes her leave, maintaining her curiously indifferent attitude. A soft but long sigh escapes my lips like air from a balloon. What is she hiding? Stop asking that! Suoh Shirahane, I need you to stop that. I've sensed something off about my amitié partner's demeanor for a while now. Indistinct, but almost tangible. I wish you'd just tell me. This game has to be doing this on purpose. It has to be doing this on purpose. It has to know that Suoh at this point is becoming like she's enough to drive you insane. Like she was like, oh, they're hiding secrets. They're hiding secrets. I'm hiding the biggest one.
私が言える言葉ではないわ。
I murmur sardonically, sagging back against the bookshelf. In the silence, I become aware of a small but strange sound. It's so quiet you'd barely notice unless you were straining your ears for it. It's like a bird's cry. No, it's a human sound. What? Oh, good. Oh, good. Stepmom voice is back. The dying lights of the day casts the room in a shadow, deepening the gloom that's pulling around the edges. In one dark corner, I pick out the shadowy form of my stepmother and stifle a scream. Nausea surges up in me at the sight of her standing there, crisscrossed by scarlet light and the inky shadow. Man, the prose is so good in this game when it's like firing on all cylinders. Like the localizers and scriptwriters did a very good job of making everything about the way this game reads feel really elegant and classy.
どうして？
どうして面白いことを言うのね。お前が呼んだのでしょ。
She comes to me whenever I'm faltering or feeling afraid.
あの子に嘘をついたね。
それは仕方のないことだわ。
You didn't?
そうでしょうね。ああ。でもあの子も嘘をついた。
Oof!
だからおあいこだわ。
She is? The idea that my amitié partner is lying to me shakes me to the core. I simply thought she was keeping something from me. But that's...
お前を思ってのこと。そんな優しいおとぎ話のようなことを考えている。
そう。私はアミティエを信じているもの。
What if she is doing it for her own sake, though?
あの子はもう。
Oh, that's dark. She takes slow, deliberate steps toward me, fighting back the nausea in my throat. I tell her she's lying, but she simply laughs it off.
今頃は寄宿舎のあの子の部屋へ向かっている頃だわ。
Tsuabuki? Tsuabuki-san's face flashes before my mind's eye, and I stagger back against the shelf. A feeling of weightlessness washes over me like I'm sinking back into the bookshelf. Oh, that's so creepy. That's so creepy! Just ending that scene on a laugh. Oh, that's real good. My head is hot and stuffy. The backs of my eyes burn. It's second period, but neither my head nor my heart are fully awoken. Cupping my hands beneath the icy water running from the faucet, I feel its bite across my palms. After splashing my face with cold water several times and wiping it dry with a handkerchief, I feel a little more normal. My head still feels strangely muggy, like it's been stuffed with smoldering cotton wool, but it's better than before. Stepping out from the chilly washroom into the corridor, the warm air settles heavily over me again. This isn't the fatigue that accompanies illness, but rather... Hey! A voice addresses me from behind, then I turn around. How's it going, Chidori? Hey! Hey, how's it going? Coming closer, she stares intently into my face as though searching for a sign. Then she points toward her own face. You've been crying. I tilt my head questioningly as her brows knit together with concern. Who was it? I'll make sure they disappear. That's not it! No, it's fine. Quickly, I rack my brain for how to respond. All I can come up with is another weak denial. She reaches out with graceful fingers. When I instinctively shut my eyes, I feel them dance gently over my eyelids, an intimate gesture revealing her genuine concern for me. Oh, we know, believe me. Also, no, nobody could ever do that to me. Nobody could ever reach out and touch my eye. I cannot stand having anything coming close to touching my eyes. I hate it. Like, she'd go reach for my eyes, I'd twist her arm off. Like, no, no. I have an immediate fight or flight response to having my eyes touched. So the fact that, like, I have eye problems and have to have my eyes checked every once in a while is definitely not fun. But thankfully I do have an eye doctor that's pretty understanding, and I imagine you just run into a lot of people who are very touchy about their eyes being touched. That's a weird aside, isn't it? Her warm fingertips caress my eyelids like flickering memories, and the gentle tickle of her kind gesture makes me giggle. She really is. She's grown into be, like, so kind and nurturing. Very nice. Sure. She pulls her hand back, and I suddenly wish I'd waited a little longer to say anything. Need some eye drops? It's not a lie. I'm telling her one facet of the truth. Really? She asks me, gazing earnestly into my face. Right. Infuriated and scared by my stepmother's words, I staggered back into the bookshelf. My impact knocked the book to the floor. It was so subtle you wouldn't notice it without close examination, but there was something unnatural about the depth of the shelf. Yo, hidden bookshelf room, let's go! This led me to a discovery. There was another shelf, hidden behind the back of the first one. The hidden shelf looked like it hadn't been accessed for a long time, since it was layered with years' worth of dust and all the book's pages were yellowed. I picked up a volume at random and scanned over it. The aged tome was from before the Academy became Sailing. Ooh, yeah, okay. That is definitely something I think that would keep you up late at night. That's interesting. Okay. My mind had wandered back into yesterday at Iznik. Takasaki-san's doubtful tone pulls me back to the present.
秘密？リッカさんに内緒で消灯時間が過ぎてからもベッドの中で本を読んでいて。だから寝不足で目を腫らしている？
You are such a bad liar. Suoh is literally the worst liar on the planet. Nobody has told worse like nobody is this transparently awful at lying. I nod. A sparkle wipes the suspicion from Takasaki-san's eyes and she comments that I can be very cute sometimes.
なんていうか白羽さんって絶対に規律を破らない人だと思っていたわ。片場寮長みたいな。そうかしら。規律を遵守するならリッカさんの方が。花火師さんは意外と融通が利くイメージがあるわね。白羽さんの方がルールに厳しい気がするわ。
She does give off that aura a little bit.
そんなに石部金吉に見えるかしら。石部？
A sticker? I've picked up Yatsushiro-senpai's penchant for old lingo. I explained to her that it comes from an old word for referee and now refers to people who insist on following rules to the letter. As I watch her nod appreciatively, I think of Rika-san. I have a new source of information, but it's going to take time to go over all these piles of old records. I was able to read through all of the books in Iznik because it was winter break, and I spent every waking minute cooped up in there. But even if I bring the old records out,
目につかないようにするには自説しかない。でもリッカさんの目に触れさせるわけにはいかない。
I can't tell anyone about the hidden records.
部屋でこっそり本を読んでいるのは内緒にしてほしいのね。
I'm gonna keep it a secret that you're reading your porno! It's a bad habit of mine to say things without thinking. Now I'm locked into this. I summon a smile.
わかったわ。私と白羽さんの二人だけの秘密ね。
Ever want to have a cool secret with a girl? There it is. It's another thing you can tick off your list, Suoh. Check that out. Takasaki-san reassures me. She gives me her word, but secrets always come out. So I hear you got your hands on a good book. This line from this obscure movie suddenly comes to mind. Those are the words I find before me when I open the folded scrap of paper that's passed to me during class in the dreaded specimen room. Oh, interesting. Hurriedly, I glance around the room. My gaze lands on Erika-san's smug features and Takasaki-san with her hands clasped together and head bowed in supplication. Erika wormed that out of her. It took all of 20 seconds for her to run back to Erika. You will never guess what Suoh did. Another thought comes to mind, crowding out the fact that Takasaki-san reneged on her promise.
リッカさんになら
Yes, maybe she could. I can't tell anyone about the old texts I found in Iznik. I know that, but at the same time, trying to read through all of them in stolen moments is going to take way too long. No, but I argue back and forth internally. I remember something Erika-san said after she and I got the rundown of the werewolf and the bell tower incident from Yatsushiro-senpai.
三人も知っている秘密は
Yeah, like it was not really a secret anymore. She had a point.
どうしたら
Just tell her! Catching my bookworm buddy's subtle wave, I surreptitiously press my hand to my chest and still my inner turmoil. In the end, I decide to put my Yes! Finally, we're doing something here. This is some kind of progress.
へえ、これが新しく見つかったって本か。
Look how happy she is. Her eyes sparkle with childish delight as she makes grabby hands at the pile of books attached to the. Yes, I love it. I can just see her. You can literally see Erika doing grabby hands at books she's never had. She's so genuinely excited. I love it.
随分と古い本なのね。
Once Erika-san knew it was going to get back to Takasaki-san sooner or later, so I decided to bring her in on board
図
too.
書室で廃棄処分待ちになってた古書か。 そそるよな。
Gimme. Without revealing the true origin, I solicited her help in reading through the books. I related how I found some old school records in the library that were earmarked for disposal. A little white lie.
でも調べ物なら二階屋の会の人たちや花火師さんにも手伝ってもらえばいいんじゃない？これ学院の記録なのでしょ？お前話聞いてなかったのかよ。もともとが捨てる図書で昔の学院の記録だ。七不思議関係もあるかもだから委員長には酷だって話しただろうが。ああ、花火師さん怖い話苦手だものね。二階屋の会のみんなにはもともと捨てるものだから学院に関するものとはいえ協力してとは言いづらくて。
Okay, she can be good at lying sometimes.
あ、そんな顔をしないで。私もついエリカへ面白そうな本を見つけたっていう話を言ってしまったし。
No, I bet you did. I bet you crumpled like a damn paper bag in like 2 minutes. She clasps her hands together and bats her eyelashes at me apologetically. I tell her it's fine.
手伝ってくれるって言ってくれたもの。それに今度こそ内緒にしてって話でしょ。理由が理由だし誰にも言わないわ。エリカもそうよね。白羽に恩を売れて未だ読んだことのない本まで読める言うわけがない。
You owe me one now. With that declaration, she picks up one of the old records and runs a hand lovingly over the cover before opening it. She's like a child who's just been given a new toy. I meet Takasaki-san's gaze and we share a giggle.
それじゃあ古書の中で何か面白い記述や七不思議らしい事柄が書かれていたときは教えてくださいね。もう限界だわ。
Ooh, we've been here all afternoon. The voice filters through my concentration like the roar of distant waves.
少し休憩にしましょ
Are we gonna get tea? At her next words, I raise my head from the book to see Takasaki-san heading over to where the tea set stands. With a practiced hand, she pours out a cup of tea and serves it to me.
う。ありがとう。どういたしまして。でもすごいわね。こんな難しい本集中してずっと読んでいられないわ。
These old tomes are from back when St. Angraecum Academy was known as Awashima Seminary. Okay. Their pages contain records of daily life, but the grammar and phrasing is different from modern day language. Okay, so these are like super old. It takes a considerable mental effort to parse each paragraph.
祖父がこの時代の小説をよく読んでいたから、その蔵書を私も読ませてもらっていたし。
Oh, so this is like nothing for you.
処置というのは本当なのね。エリカが本なら辞書でもいいって聞いたときは冗談かと思ったけれど。
She looks over at Erica, who's hunched over her book as though greedily devouring its knowledge, and sighs deeply.
冗談は言うけど、嘘はつかないんだったわよ
She'll
ね。
tell a joke, but never a lie. With that, she gets up and goes over to plonk a cup of tea in front of Erica.
なんだよ、休憩か？
There's an NES game called Break Time. It's a pool game. And on the title screen, it's just got this loud, awful, distorted as hell voice clip that goes, Break Time! It's pretty bad. I'm almost certain it's by Data East, who also did Bad Dudes, who has a really bad and crunchy, distorted, I'm bad! When you finish a level. So I'm pretty sure, like, just awful ass voice samples are a Data East staple on the NES now that I think about it.
そうよ。それにそろそろタイムリミット。もうそんな時間かよ。せっかく面白い記述
Oh,
を
what you got?
もしかして
In my excitement, I'm about to name the Tulpa of Agape, but quickly cut myself off.
この学院のお箱、七不思議だよ。 ずいぶん昔からあったみたいだ。ほら。
Seems like they've been around. Taking the proffered book from her, I see the passage that refers to the goddess of truth. My vision narrows to a pinprick at the sight of this term, so closely tied up in my Amitie's disappearance. Suddenly, there's only me and those words.
真実の女神？聞いたことのない七不思議ね。夏に転入してきたお前は知らないだろうな。こいつは聖母祭を経て現れる怪異なんだよ。聖母祭？それって私が来る前にあった学園祭のようなもの？聖母マリアを称える祭事だよ。真実の女神は聖母祭の聖母役に選ばれた者が対象となる。そして
Her voice reaches my ears but doesn't make its way into my brain. All I can see are the words on the page before me as I scan through them, seeking any new information I can find.
へえ、つまり石部金吉な人が選ばれるわけね。お前にしては面白い言い回しを知ってるじゃないか。ニュアンスは微妙に間違ってるけどな。
Didn't quite use it correctly.
まあ、この時代の記述では名だけで、まだ消えちまう云々の話はないみたいだが。
Nothing? Okay, so it looks like only the name crops up at this point in time, and there's nothing about any disappearances. Passing my eyes over the text, I see that she's right. It just mentions the name. I suppose it wasn't a clue after all. No dice. No rice! I must have voiced my thoughts aloud again. She peers into my face and I look back into her eyes without really seeing her.
白羽さんの受け売りをすぐに使った私のことがないとか？はあ？いえ、そうじゃないの。ただ昨日眠っていないからついぼーっとしてしまったみたい。
They both already know that I stayed up all night, so they seem to believe my excuse. Takasaki-san kindly offers me another cup of tea. When I shake my head, Erika-san digs into her pocket, then holds out whatever it is she found in there.
脳に栄養がいってないんだよ。甘いもんでも食え。
In her hand is a little box of chocolate. Aww. Open your mouth! Feed me. I haven't quite returned to reality after hearing the term goddess of truth. Without thinking, I part my lips slightly. Erika-san's eyes widen and her cheeks flush. Despite the exasperation in her tone, she unwraps the chocolate and feeds it to me. Yeah, okay, wasn't weird or anything. After I finish the first one, she feeds me another! Her delicate fingers brush across my lips, and I find myself captivated by the scarlet flush that stains her cheeks. Somebody is power washing next door. I don't think this microphone's gonna pick it up, but man. Power washing. They do be big power washing in the middle of summer. I cannot think of the last time I actually power washed anything. It had to have been like mid 2000s? Like 2005, 2006 is the last time I used a power washer. Why does that in any way relate to the visual novel we're reading? It doesn't. That's what you came here for. Or rather, you came here and you watched this Let's Play, unfortunately, so this is what you get. Me talking about that time I power washed in 2005. I thank her, my vision still hazy, as though my eyes are covered with cobwebs. Yeah, I think you gotta make this work for her too. Seeing Takasaki-san's scandalized look, the realization of what I was doing and with whom finally sinks in. Oh dear, I stepped in it again. Poor Suoh. Poor Suoh. She just didn't know. Apologizing just makes it more embarrassing. You are going to have to feed her so many candies when y'all get back to your room. Cheeks still flushed, my friend pushes a chocolate between her amitié partner's lips. Aww. I pat my cheeks sharply with both hands to try and dispel the strange languor that's come over me, but Takasaki-san and Erika chuckle.
白羽さんみたいな美人が気合を入れるために頬を叩くようなことをするんだなって。
Yeah, it's a little uncharacteristic of someone like her, I guess.
祖父が気持ちを切り替えるときによくやっていたので。家族の影響か。
Abruptly, she breaks off with a grimace, then makes a blatant attempt to change the subject, asking us whether we'd heard the news. What news? What's going on?
そろそろ朗読劇をまたやるって話だよ、作家様。
Oh, really?
だって夏にもうやったじゃない。バスキア教諭が以前夏と冬に2度あるって言ってただろうが。
It's news to me, but now that she mentions it, I do vaguely remember her saying something about along those
ま
lines.
た私たちがやる羽目になったりして。
Oh, you're gonna get roped into it, don't worry. This visual novel only works when everybody gets roped into the fun.
それもいいわね。またエリカの
Oh.
可愛い声が聞けるのですもの。
I love how openly affectionate she is about just like not giving much of a crap about how much she like really loves everything about Erika. Like she's just open and honest about it in a way that is so fun and refreshing. Takasaki-san continues with her amitié partner's teasing and some of her own, and Erika-san spreads her arms wide in a placatory gesture.
言霊ってやつがある。冗談ならいいが、やってもいいなんて言うな。叶っちまうだろうが。
Oh, it's coming true, don't you worry. Their laughter echoes throughout Iznik. The sound is familiar and affable, and though the skies have turned a leaden gray, our spirits remain high. But she is right. Words do have power. It arrives without fanfare, like a sudden downpour. There it is. Do we have any volunteers to participate in the recitation we will be putting on at the end this month? Out of nowhere, Sister Basquiat suddenly poses the question to us. Amid the sudden explosion of noise in the classroom, one person raises their hand straight up into the air. Yo, let's go! I looked at the owner of the voice in surprise. It's Ichigo-san. She's putting herself forward for it? She did eagerly volunteer to perform a solo at the choir recital, so I know she can be proactive when she feels like it. But when it came to the recitation, as I'm puzzling over her decision, Ringo-san raises her hand and gets to her feet, declaring that she personally will participate too. Then, having received Sister Basquiat's praise, both sisters turn to me. Oh, we will! Oh, are we doing this again where we're literally throwing Molotov cocktails at everybody until everybody's on fire? I remember this happened in Ete, so it's gonna happen again, isn't it? Everybody's just gonna firebomb each other until we're all roped in. Ichigo-san asserts confidently. You're probably asking how I got into this situation. She claps her hands together delightedly, pleased that people are actively volunteering. But I didn't volunteer myself! Nope, not good for me. So you gotta practice for your budding career in Rakugo. That power washer's starting to drive me insane. Like, my god, they are so close. She waves away my protests, but Rika-san blinks as though suddenly snapped out of a daydream by my cry and stands up to voice her objections.
私も忙しいですし
Yeah, I mean, this is true too. Like, we were members of the Council of Nikaya, the president and vice president specifically. Maybe that would, you know, kind of cramp our style a little bit given everything else on our plate right now. Her attempt to decline is cut off by a cry from an onlooker telling her to just do it.
いいじゃないか朗読劇白羽も出るんだしアミキエなら委員長も協力しなくちゃな
I don't know, Erica, why don't you do it too? Erica cannot wait to volunteer to be a part of this next recitation.
そうね前回は聞けなかったけれど花火師さんならきっと上手に演じてくれるわ
All right, give me the option. I'm throwing firebombs their way now. Let's go. Erika-san claps her hands together in agreement. The rest of the class joins in the applause, while Rika-san seems unsure of how to respond to the flattery. There's a gleam in her eye when she turns to me that tells me she's not entirely averse to it.
恥ずかしい上に今はさ
Oh, everything in the world is just keeping her away from doing any kind of investigation.
あいつアバターみたいな顔になってるぜ
Her voice is low, but my pricked ears easily pick up her whispered comment. Somehow I have to find a way out of this situation. Chidori! Throwing the firebomb her way. Let's go. It's mostly because my eyes just happen to meet hers, but
私よりも高崎千鳥さんの方が朗読者として
get dumpstered! Clutching at straws, I throw Takasaki-san's name into the ring. She blinks at me in bewilderment.
白羽さんは私の朗読が聞き
I mean, she's probably just gonna be like, yeah, okay, I'll do it, whatever.
それは
I don't want to admit that I simply picked her because I wanted to foist it off on someone else.
そう私
Oh,
でな
damn.
くてもいいのに
Oh, damn. No, you gotta save this. Seeing the hurt bloom in her eyes, I quickly tell her she's wrong.
違う聞きたくないってこと違うというのはそういう意味ではなくて私は白羽さんが適任だと思う
No, this is going all wrong. I trail off, guilt welling up inside me at the glint of tears in her eyes. Apparently taking this as an end to the discussion, Sister Basquiat tells her to sit. Oh no, I really put my foot in it.
タヌキ
Crocodile tears. She's just literally acting.
私は女優よ
Oh man, Suoh got played so hard. Played to her weakness and never wanting to hurt anybody. Damn, Chidori is... You cannot forget. You absolutely cannot let it be forgotten that Chidori can be very vicious. Flustered, I cast around for any escape route I can find. Ugh. But everyone averts their eyes, too shy to participate. Only one person meets my gaze.
諏訪吹さん
Yeah, let's do it. Let's pull her in. Dude, this is actually a great idea. Pull in Suwabuki-san, let her do it with Rika, and then everybody's happy. Like let her be in the recitation with Rika. I think this actually works out well. She looks startled by my whisper, but then a radiant smile spreads across her. Yes! Let's go.
私の代わりに受けてくれる
Let her do it! Let her do it! Rika-san is participating and given the feelings she has for her. Suddenly, I feel a chill presence of my stepmother creeping up my spine. I'm wavering.
胸の痛みは嫉妬
Oh.
ということで異論はないよねそうちゃんりっちゃん
Oh! Forced into agreement by the pain in my... Oh. Oh! Oh! I hate that!
私的にはエリカや千鳥にも参加してもらいたかったけどね笑えない冗談だ そんなに卑屈になることないよ。エリカが参加したら爆笑間違いなしだからね。
We're all stumped by her quick comeback. Apparently, even Erika-san is sometimes lost for words.
笑える朗読劇って何をする気なの？
They smugly answer that there's a reason why they can't do the recitation with just two of them.
この朗読劇は人数が多
A
くない
lot
と
of
できない演
people
目
for
だ
this
からね。
particular. Well, what could it be?
もう演目も決めているのね。
Puffing her chest out, Ichigo-san surveys the classroom.
朗読劇の演目は
Oh,
魔法使いです。
of course. Of course, like, why did that not just immediately jump to my mind since the name of the chapter is literally the Wonderful Wizard of Oz? Why did I not think of that? Of course!
ひどいわ、いちごさん。
Terrible! You're terrible! I pretend to take a swipe at her and she jerks back, laughing apologetically.
悪かったよ、スオちゃん。
After class on the way to the chapel, I'm assailed by a sense of deja vu. We've had this same exchange before. Right, it was...
でも前にやった朗読劇すごくかっこよかったんだもん。そうかしら。そうだよ。前の衣装も良かったけど、今度はもっと露出
More
がない
revealing?
やつにしよう。裾から見えちゃい
Ichiko,
そう
what
な
are
や
you
つ。
trying to get us
き
into?
っと支持率うなぎ登りだよ。
Wow. That time that you spent with Yuzuriha has done a little bit to your mind, I think. Somebody turned into a little bit of a horn dog. Immediately after morning prayers, I went to protest to Ichigo-san, and she apologized to me exactly the same as she's doing now and teased me in the same way too.
あんまりしつこいとスオさんが怒るわよ。ふざけすぎてはダメ。
This back and forth with me constantly defending myself against her teasing is dragged on all the way until class. Ichigo-san sticks out her tongue, but Rika-san advances on her, pulling a scary face.
スオさんが怒らせると怖いのよ。夜通し怖い話を聞かされるんだか
You
ら。
know who's even scarier when she's mad? Rika. Look at that face. It's even more emphasized when she's got like the little cape on and the hat. She says mischievously. As I raise my voice to protest, Ichigo-san happily suggests that this sounds like fun.
夜通し怪談話。それは最高ですね。
A night of spooky tales is the absolute best time? Ringo-san nods happily, hands balled into fists. It seems like today is one of those days where I get teased all day long. Still,
久しぶりだわ。
it's been equally as long since I've heard her joking around.
よかった。
Ichigo-san scratches her head awkwardly, clearly not having meant for me to overhear. After a moment of thought, she beckons for me to bend down and leans in to whisper.
なんていうかさ、ここのところりっちゃん元気ない感じだったじゃない。だからさ、みんなで朗読劇をしようって。りっちゃんの特効薬はスオちゃんでしょ。前に一緒にやりたかったって言っていたし、友
Oh,
達が元気ない顔してるのって。
she's so pure of heart. Oh, God. Give her all the head pats. Her cheeks are as red as strawberries, and I'm not just from the winter cold, and not just from her namesake. I did say that I would give her all the head pats, didn't I? Hold on, cursor. Come back. Come back! Emotion surges up in my chest, and before I know it, I'm putting an arm around her shoulder and using my other hand to pet her head. Oh, you're just going for like the double arm. Like you're going for like the the full body contact head pat where you pull them in with one arm and just tap their head with the other. Damn. The deluxe. You're getting the deluxe head pat treatment.
ありがとう、いちごさん。あ、
Sure, whatever, no big deal. Chilled by the winter air, her hair is cold to the touch, but still soft. It's smooth and silky, as beautiful as her heart. As I stroke her hair, I remember the cat that lived with us for a short time when I was a child. It was a capricious little thing, but it would also come and snuggle up to me whenever I was crying.
そうちゃん。
I looked down into Ichigo's face, which is as red as a tomato. There's another instance of Suoh just being like super touchy-feely with people these days, and it's kind of like making everybody just like, hey, not in a weird way, but in a, oh my, this is, I could, get used to this. Maybe not a good thing while, you know, but yeah, like she's just kind of, it's amazing how just touchy-feely she's being with everybody now. It's a really nice little progression for her character. Realizing what I'm doing, I hurriedly pull my hand away.
ついその嬉しく
Oh, it's okay. I'm sure she doesn't mind. I don't think many people would mind.
私も嬉しく
Yeah, she's in a... All right, Ringo, your turn. Get over here. Bring it in. Noticing Rika-san's stern expression and Ringo's leer, I feel my face flush hotly all the way to the tips of my ears.
やっぱりスオちゃんを推薦してよかったよ
She says bashfully. When I open the door to the chapel, my vision is filled with the sight of the stained glass windows glimmering magnificently in the winter night filters through them, and the figure of Christ on the cross. I'm assailed by the same sense of deja vu and desolation as before.
加藤先輩
Oh? What's going on? It's because I'm remembering that summer day when we performed the recitation together. Or maybe it's because I saw her standing up on the dais with her hair like golden wheat. There are other upperclassmen here who will be participating in the recitation too.
皆さん集まりましたね。それでは始めましょう。
Sister Basquiat smiles genially around at us. The first thing we do is introduce ourselves. In the summer, I was introducing myself to Komikado Senpai, who I already knew well, so there was nothing to be nervous about. Now, as I look around the chapel, even though the older students are familiar to me... Hey, Hagiwara!
緊張しているのかしら会長さん
One of them is Mio Hagiwara, who is Komikado Senpai's amitié partner. And the other is...
はい、そこまで。ずいぶん良くなりましたよ、Hokamaさん。
Hokama, yeah! Mizuki Hokama, the pianist from the choir club, who is good friends with Rika-san. As it turns out, the two of them are both participating in the recitation. Usually, each year group puts on their own recitation, but after the rave reviews of our performance with Komikado Senpai, our performance with Komikado Senpai received, we're doing it jointly again this time too. However, hey, you know what? We separate business, business from pleasure. Although they don't seem to mind, I feel like at the time I was so desperate to solve the mystery that I really hammered them over the head with all my blunt questions. Hokama Senpai tugs gently at my sleeve. Oh. She's telling me it's my turn next. Oh, I wish they had sprites! They're so cute. Oh, it's so cute. Happy to hear this, I thank Hokama Senpai. She quickly hides herself behind Rika-san, but offers me a little nod in return. Then she whispers something too quiet for me to hear. Hell yeah! Let's knock it out of the park. You got it.
さあ、次は1年生の番です。今度も夏と同じように、みんなで同じ童話を朗読することになりますから。
Sister Basquiat hands out printed pamphlets to each of us.
練習は童話のカエルの王様を朗読してもらいます。では、字の文は白羽さん、カエルの王様役は花火師さん。
One by one, she assigns us our parts and gives us an introduction to the basics of recitation or staged reading. It's the second time that I've heard it.
では、頭からではなく、1ページ目の23行目から始めましょう。
She must have some reason not to start at the beginning. Doing as instructed, I opened the pamphlet and scanned down the designated section. Having all these extra pairs of eyes on me that weren't there last time makes me nervous, however. I'm the only one here who's done this before. I smile around at everyone, doing my best to settle their nerves.
では始めてください。
お姫様、お姫様、何を悲しんでいるの？そんなに泣いていたんじゃ、石だって同情してしまうよ。
I'm impressed by how good she is, despite it being her first time. Sister Basquiat clears her throat, shaking me from my reverie, and I rush to read my part.
お姫様はその声がどこからするのかと辺りを見回しました。するとカエルが水面からその大きな目を突き出しているのが見えたのです。水をバチャバチャやる迷惑なカエルじゃない。私が泣いているのはね、黄金の玉が泉の中に落ちてしまったからなの。
I think she need to go with a little less energy.
もう泣かなくてもいいよ。僕なら助けられるんだ。でも、僕が泉の中から玉を拾ってきたら、
Beneath the light of the setting sun, Rika-san's voice reverberates throughout the chapel.
あなたの欲しいものなら何だってあげるわ。綺麗な洋服も美しい宝石も私がしている黄金の冠もあなたのものよ。
Ichigo-san intones, gilded by scarlet and the sun's dying rays. Their figures transform into those of Yatsushiro-senpai and Komikado-senpai. But not from the recitation that we're all together, but not from the recitation as we weren't all together then, from when they stood on the stage together at the choir recital.
僕は綺麗な洋服も美しい宝石も黄金の冠もいらない。
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, that all makes sense. That tracks. In my mind, Yatsushiro-senpai's voice overlays Rika-san's, and as the scarlet light enshrouds us, an indescribable feeling buds within me. I can feel what she felt.
白羽さん、
My voice won't come out. It's trapped behind the feelings lodged in my throat. Sister Basquiat regards me suspiciously.
八代先輩、小帝先輩。
Looking up at the silent figure of Christ, I shove my feelings down inside. Then, with everyone's eyes on me, I start to read aloud. It's interesting that they're coming up. I have to say. Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. When he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he? It's a wonderful life. You looking for me to do something there? Okay. All right. All right. I guess we should have expected those two to start coming up again. Or rather, their absence, given that this is a chapter named The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. But we're going to go ahead and stop there for now. We're starting to move a little on this whole thing. I'm not sure. I think that Suoh is kind of a little more open to moving in the right direction now and involving other people in this than she was before. But there's definitely some work that needs to be done on her end. I think that, like, I don't know how much longer she can keep it a secret. But again, I also think that it's not much of a secret. I think everybody just kind of knows what she's doing at this point. Everybody is kind of just in on it, and they're just not saying anything. So that's my read on it, is I think that they're all kind of just keen on, she's doing something that involves something about Mayuri, but they either don't know or they do know, and they're just kind of like letting her kind of do her own thing until she finally does come to them. But anyway, all of that will be stuff I guess we start to dig in next time, but I don't know that we're gonna get very far on that stuff next time. It seems like we're going off in another completely different direction again, but the fact that Yuzuriha and Narine are coming up again has me suspicious. So, anyway, as always, I want to thank you so much for coming out. Let me have a little bit of your time. It's always appreciated. I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever it is that you may be, and we will catch you the next time we are together.